2024 was an amazing year for both the Pokemon fan game and ROM hacking scenes, seeing the release of a ton of high quality and unique projects. But after taking a look at what's to come, I think that 2025 has the chance to be even better. So in this video, I'll be showcasing a number of Pokemon fan games and ROM hacks that'll be very likely releasing in 2025. But I'll also be going into a bit of detail about their development to give an idea of when it might be released. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to keep up with all the newest Pokemon fan games and ROM hacks, because we covered a lot in 2024, and we'll be covering even more in 2025. But the first game we're going to talk about is Pokemon Umbra. Now, this is a fan game that I've been waiting a very long time for, and for good reason. It's an absolutely beautiful project, but in Pokemon Umbra, you'll travel through the region of Verishad, trying to live up to your family name. The most interesting thing about Umbra is its planned Pokédex of completely original Pokemon that all follow you around outside of battle and have animated sprites in battle. Alongside these new Pokemon also come new moves, abilities, and apparently even new evolution methods. You'll of course be able to choose from one of 3 starters, but instead of being grass, fire, and water, they'll be in a new trio of psychic, fighting, and dark. But what also caught me off guard was the diagonal movement options, which will certainly make the world a lot more exciting to explore. But Pokemon Umbra's first demo should be releasing in 2025, so definitely be on the lookout for it. Next, let's take a look at a ROM hack that currently has a very short demo, but has plans to drop its next one in early 2025. This is Pokemon Swords 2, a continuation of the developers' Pokemon ROM-hack series. Now, while this is a continuation of an existing story, I won't be spoiling anything from the previous games. But in this hack, you'll play as a Pokemon trainer who joins the International Police, with an initial goal of just helping others. You'll complete various missions around the brand new region of Ackland that's not only fun to explore, with its immediate biome diversity, but incredibly easy to progress through with its fast travel subway system. But the part that impressed me the most were the graphics. The overworld was certainly very pretty for ROM hack standards, but the UI is what really caught my attention. It's incredibly well made, and while it might seem like something strange to praise this heavily, having something nice to look at whenever you're in battle, or in any of the menus, improves the overall experience tenfold. Finally, there are many different ways you'll be able to play through the game, with the randomizer and level scaling options, but also a separate difficulty called Hero Mode that locks the player into set mode, enables level caps, and of course makes the battles harder. But Swords 2's second demo should be released in early 2025, according to the developer. I'm sure it goes without saying that BDSP was one of the most disappointing entries in the Pokemon series, and while Legends Arceus was a fun game, many people desire a more traditional return to the Sinnoh region that doesn't look or feel worse than the original games. Luckily, I'm here to show you an upcoming project that does exactly that. This is Pokemon Refulgente Platinum, a fan game that allows you to return to a visually breathtaking version of the Sinnoh region, with animated sprites in battle, following Pokemon, in a massively expanded Pokédex. But this game isn't just a graphically enhanced version of Platinum with more Pokemon. It also features new story characters and even some new regional variants. It's a game that I've had my eyes on for a long time, that I'm incredibly excited to play with just how amazing and detailed the graphics look. But Platinum Refulgente announced on September 9th that development was just over 50% complete, meaning hopefully we'll get to see the game by the very end of 2025. But of course, we should also let the developers take their time with this project. Finally, while this is obviously a Spanish game, the developer has stated an English translation is expected to arrive with the game's completion. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon ROM-hacks, especially when they introduce a new world to explore, but something I've never really cared for were the hacks that just take the base region, allow every Pokemon to be captured, and make the battles harder. especially when most of them feel pretty much the same and tons of YouTubers praise the crap out of them. But what I'm here to show you is a ROM hack that takes place in a version of Hoenn that feels almost unrecognizable. This is Pokemon Pisces, and you might be wondering, what about this hack separates it from the dozens of other Hoenn region enhancement hacks? Elaborating on what I said earlier, the Hoenn region has been completely rebuilt from the ground up, with a collection of new locations, layouts, tiles, and events. But not only that, there's also over 250 brand new Pokemon to capture, as well as new sprites and move pools for all of the returning ones. And while that's already enough to interest me, it somehow gets even better, with a new story that acts as a sequel to the original Pokemon Emerald, and hundreds of new moves and abilities to really make every Pokemon, new and returning, feel special in some way. It's such an incredible looking ROM hack, and it's one I'll definitely be covering when it releases in 2025. So I've already talked about this game in 2 of my other videos, and it's a newer game that's already become one of my top 10 of all time. And I'm happy to say that in early 2025, it'll be getting a new update. But this is Pokemon Atlas, a fan game that I've personally named the most beautiful one ever created, with a plethora of unique regional variants, character art, and an incredibly visually appealing world. The story in this game is also phenomenal, with every gym leader and rival actually having a place in the plot, rather than just being thrown away once you finish battling them. But like I said before, the game is getting a brand new update early next year, with new missions, new regional forms, and new quality of life features, all of which I'm very excited for. But we also have a plethora of fan games from the recent Fan Games Direct from the Spanish community. Now, while my video is mostly directed to the English community, foreign ones do tend to get translated relatively quickly, so don't worry about potentially not being able to enjoy these games. First, we have Pokemon Resplendor, a very colorful and beautiful game, with tons of custom and interesting new characters. But of course, what has me intrigued the most are the new Pokemon, which all look very unique and fun to use. It seems to be in early development, but I'm certainly looking forward to what it has to offer. Next, we have Pokemon Astro, which immediately kicks off with some beautiful animations showing off the new Pokemon, then leading into another animation showing off the region, a region that looks absolutely incredible in the enhanced Generation 5 style. And if it couldn't get any better, there are even a plethora of new Pokemon to capture that even have their sprites animated in battle, an absolutely amazing feat for a free-to-play fan game. But like Refulgente Platinum graphically improved Sinnoh, Pokemon Royal does the same to Galar, giving you a new adventure through the 8th generation, with new rivals and evil team leaders, but also new regional forms. The game also comes with a ton of interesting features, like the curry cooking from the original games, and even the ability to own and decorate your own house. I'm very interested to see how Sword and Shield can be translated to the 2D style, and I'll of course have those answers when the game's first demo releases on January 24th of 2025. But while I enjoy demos of new games myself, I know there are many of you who only enjoy completed projects. Thankfully, the English translation of Pokemon Idas was announced to be released next year. In this game, you'll play as a delivery driver tasked with delivering a mysterious package across the region of Suria. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And while that might not sound too exciting, the region is filled with vast treasures, dark secrets, and all kinds of characters. The story has dozens of side quests, and even 10 different endings. It certainly sounds like an exciting experience that I hope you're looking forward to as much as I am. But finally, we have a fan game that seems to have just about everything I want in a Pokemon game. A fan game by the name of Pokemon Barillo. On paper, it's a simple game where you travel through a new region and defeat 8 gym leaders. But it does offer the promise of a deeper story, and with its absolutely beautiful graphics, new Pokemon, and quality of life, it's a promise that I'm willing to believe in. Its English version will be releasing on January 24th of 2025, so definitely be on the lookout for it. But that's going to just about wrap up this video. I know there were probably a ton more I missed, but I kind of wanted to put this video's focus on mostly brand new projects, rather than ones I've already covered a number of times. But if you are looking for fan games and ROM hacks that are currently playable as of making this video, or even completed, then make sure you check out the other videos on my channel. Anyways, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and goodbye!